Hello, this is Robbie, Sunshine. We're here to talk about meditation practice. There is as you know, members of the Patreon community, I run a weekly call on meditation practice, so we can help you understand how to best meditate, how to best continue with your practice. Um, People ask a lot of questions about how to meditate, how to practice, how to maintain focus. They mention about they sit down and go quiet and the thoughts always running and racing. And if I tell you that meditation is all of that, you probably say that's not what we see. However, meditation has different phases and stages. We have to start somewhere. And the whole purpose of meditation is actually to allow yourself to quickly calm the mind, calm your nervous system, calm your emotions so that you can listen to the guidance, the inner guidance of your heart, inner guidance of your higher self, inner guidance of your soul. And it takes weeks, months, and years to get to that point where you can quickly go from a very stressful, anxiety, chaotic moment and set yourself the intention to just jump into a meditative state to find that peaceful space to then work through the meditation and the guidance that you need at that specific moment. But if we're not practicing, we can get that quick enough, okay? And the whole practice is related to really breaking down these layers of anxiety, breaking down these layers of the nervous system survival mode, racing thoughts. And that's the whole reason why people meditate is actually to work through those elements that comes up when you stop and quiet yourself to then meditate. So don't be surprised if you start in your meditation practice and all you can hear is the racing thoughts. And that's actually a good thing. This is perhaps where every single person starts in their meditation practice. I did myself and it was annoying. It was frustrating. I could not understand why I couldn't simply just go into a meditative state. However, I was thinking that a meditative state was a state of nothingness, peacefulness, zen. However, a meditative state is anything that you put your focus on. And if your thoughts are the focus, that's a meditative state. If you're drawing, coloring, and sometimes people can use that to allow the thoughts to just come through and they get reorganized as you're coloring and you find solutions and you find clarity, your answers. So anything that you do that brings you focus is regarded is, related, and it can be considered a meditative state. And sometimes we have to work through those thoughts, those racing thoughts that are coming up. We have to sift through them to understand why they're there in the first place, to understand what is the pattern of those thoughts, of those emotions, of those sensations, and then work through these patterns to break them down, understand where they're coming from, how they are shaping you, shaping your way of thinking, shaping the way of feeling, shaping the way of seeing your world, your perspectives. And, really channeling this energy to help you unravel, unfold. There's a lot of things that go in our minds that has been put there the from your own upbringing, things that perhaps didn't resonate with you when you were a child, but we had to follow through. We were told, and we were expected to behave, we're expected to be a certain way. And that can create thoughts of rebellious, thoughts of anxiety, thoughts of you know, um, self-worth, self-doubt, and these are all running in the subconscious. So when we go quiet, when we go in silence, when we go into practice of meditation, they will come up. You'll be able to listen to them more because you're not busy, because you're not functionally using your body to do something. You're not being distracted, and the focus then goes into the thoughts. So it's a normal reaction, and it's the starting point. It's something to work with. I spent a lot of time fighting these thoughts, trying to stop them and trying to block them and push them back in the back of my mind. And sometimes I managed to do it for only a couple of minutes and realized that the silence was actually amazing, but I couldn't sustain it. But once I started to work through and understand the patterns of my thoughts, I also started to notice. So the moments I was practicing meditation, even though it felt frustrating, um, I was able to pick up these patterns, and then I was able to pick up these patterns in in my normal day-to-day activity. And I was like, oh, I'm thinking that I am doubting myself here. Why am I doubting myself? And I started to unravel and uncover. And of course, you start to go through your self-healing process, understanding a lot about your own way of being and how you are and why you are how you are. And then you have a choice. You have an amazing choice to then change and decide what to do, how to become a new version of yourself. And that's what meditation brings us. It brings us these opportunities to see ourselves in deeper levels that through the meditation your subconscious is trying to show you what it is so that you can discern if those patterns are I'm okay with those, or if those patterns are something that you're not very happy with and you want to change. You want to understand where they come from, and how you can make the change and do it differently. So the racing thoughts is one of the first elements that you're going to encounter when you start meditation. So I highly encourage you to listen to them, to allow them to come through however they come through, racing, repetitive. Pay attention, let them move through you and through your brain, through your mind. And then once you had enough of meditating, there is no right or wrong or how long you sit in silence with those thoughts. Sometimes those thoughts can can be a bit disturbing, and then you had enough, and that's okay. You have to respond and you have to listen to those moments. And the idea is to listen and perhaps use journaling after and write it down, the things that you notice, how they're coming through, why they're coming through, where they're coming from, and leave it, go live your life. Go enjoy your day, go do your chores, go do what you need to do. Because as you're listening to them in a quiet moment, in a quiet space, you're also going to notice them coming up in your busy times, in your times that you focusing in other things, driving, washing the dishes, doing your chores, doing your hobbies, doing your work. They're going to come up, and they are related to things that are happening at that moment. That's why they're coming up. And they're also trying to show you in the background what is it really that is keeping you on a survival mode, on a specific limiting belief, or perhaps on an anxiety mode. What triggers your anxiety mode? And sometimes are these background thoughts about ourselves, about how we perceive what we're doing, what's going on in front of us, and it triggers the anxiety. And sometimes we don't even know or get any warning why the anxiety just comes through. And the amazing thing about these moments that you sit down in silence to practice meditation, even though all you can feel and hear and see are these racing thoughts, is that it increases your awareness that they are there in the first place during your normal day to day. your awake life, right? And it allows you then to receive little warnings um, before you get the anxiety attack or before you go into survival mode. And then you start to understand why you were triggered straight into it, but now you have a little step in between, which is the awareness, the understanding what is triggering, which then allows you to work through that process, right? As they come, it allows you to work through that process and you can do that self questioning. You know, if I'm thinking this way, why am I thinking this way? Can I think differently? And what I always explain in these meditation practices is that um, it's very important to um, be able to question, be able to, you know, if you are one of those persons that need to understand why those things are coming through your mind, but not to fall in that puddle of mud. I call it the puddle of mud, the self blame, self guilt, self shame, because it delays your process of healing. And sometimes you do fall into those puddles, and it could be momentarily, and it does help you see deeper, really, why those thoughts are coming in the first place. But it's really important to go, if you need to go through it, to go through it and come out and know that you can come out to then be able to see the other side of that story, right? And this is where it allows you to then work through those thoughts on a day-to-day basis, as you're doing things, you know, getting the warning signs before you step into the anxiety or the sadness or the frustration or the resentment or the grief, you know, or the survival mode. And when you have that space in a day-to-day basis, this is where the magic happens from that meditation you've done that first thing in the morning or 2 mornings ago, right? This is how the meditation then is actually helping you through the day-to-day activity. And And this is where the Wisdom Activated 369 program comes through, because then we help you understand what this process is, how you can work through that process, how you can evolve and develop and find the new versions of yourself and come out of that cycle, come out of that pattern, that repetitive cycle, and step out of it into a cycle that you feel more resonance with. So the two programs kind of go hand in hand, but perhaps if you're just starting meditation practice, perhaps this membership is the best for you, the one that we are in here right now, which is meditation practice daily. And I'm here. I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to guide. I'm here to be able to listen to your soul and bring the messages that your soul are seeking until you cleared your channel enough, your energy system enough that you can do it yourself, because you will be able to do it yourself. Your intuition will develop and evolve through the process of meditation practice naturally. You don't need to do anything specific to it. You will notice that coming through and working for you, because we all have this ability. We had these abilities in childhood, and eventually, of course, all the programming and the upbringing and the traumas and the things that happen in our childhood that perhaps sometimes we're not the best overclouds these abilities. And now we're here looking at all this cloud, all this fog, clearing it to be able to find the abilities where they always been, which is within yourself. And we come to Earth to be together as one. And everyone is different. Everyone has their own unique ways, their own unique abilities. What we all have in common is that we're all here to be awakened in this journey of awakening, in this journey of returning to this light that we are, to these abilities that we are. And everyone's experiences are little puzzles to fit with your puzzles to help you understand further where you are, what you're doing, and vice versa. It works both ways. So that's why group work is very important, especially with practice of meditation, because it allows you to really evolve through these phases and stages of healing much, much quicker and with much more understanding. And to the point where it triggers your own remembrance of your light, your abilities, your past lives, your special ways of communicating with energy. Everyone has their own blueprint how to do that. Um, to the point where you end up helping others. Okay, so these are all. This is all momentarily, all transitional, because you're only transitioning into your own ways of doing your own abilities. I had that transition, and I was very fortunate to find people that really fit well with my puzzles for me to be able to work through and evolve this back, surface disability up for me. And not for me, they didn't do it for me, but you know, they assisted, and then I worked through it to be able to bring it up and be able to use it today. And here I am doing the same thing to assist others. And it's all momentarily. I'm not going to be in your life forever. You're not going to be with me forever. And sometimes people only need one session. People need just a few more sessions, and that is enough for you to build your own puzzles and carry on independently. And I'm here to empower people. I'm not here to hold people. I'm here to empower people to really understand the foundation and the basic of doing yourself first, because that is the most important foundation. I went around the other way. I went around about learning everyone's technique, not realizing I had my own, and then realizing that I could go into myself and find my own technique. And I'm here is speeding up your process, skipping steps that you don't need at the moment, which is go straight into yourself, self belief, self worth, inner empowerment. And from there, you will then evolve your abilities, evolve your techniques, evolve into wherever you want. And that is the quickest way. That is the most efficient way. That's the way it needs to be from day one. So this is why we're here. This is why we're here. And thank you for sign up for the membership. I look forward to seeing you weekly. I look forward to answering your questions. I look forward to talking about all the dynamics of meditation. A lot of things can happen during meditation in terms of energy, in terms of imagery, hearing, or your clairvoyances are going to come through in these meditations one day or another. And you'll be have a space here to answer, to get those understanding. And what I can bring um is all basic, and it's not the truth all the time. It's only my experience. But just listening sometimes can trigger your remembrance of what really is happening with you. And that is the whole aim for this group, is just to trigger your remembrance, because you know all this. You know how to meditate. You know how to be in Buddha's state, meditative state. You do. You have done it in past lives many, many, many times through. And it's all about using the resources here to just trigger your own remembrance, and you'll be able to know exactly where to stand, what to do, what's happening to you. You'll be able to decipher and interpret with your own abilities. In the beginning, we might need a little bit of help, but my truth is not your truth. Your truth is not my truth. But whatever we share in here as a group is puzzles to work with our puzzles so that we can then remember these things. Um, we're going to do a very quick heart chakra meditation right now. So we enter this portal of a meditative state. Sometimes a group call can help us get into this meditative state much quicker, raise our vibration, come out and feel much better. And I highly recommend if you know people that you can trust the energy, you can trust to connect. And if you're both feeling well, always try to connect the hearts because there's always messages that you receive when you get into that higher vibe, um, higher vibration energy portals. So with no more waiting, let's take a nice breath into your heart. Just calming down the system, the nervous system. We were listening at speed, and sometimes we just need to calm down the heart, calm down the breathing. You see me putting my hands on my heart, and I didn't used to, but as your heart chakra starts to open, little chin starts to break open, the sensations feel quite lively. And I usually rest my hand to feel these sensations, to ground these sensations. People do for different reasons. You see a lot of people putting their hands on their heart, but I think it's also a way of touching, of feeling those sensations a bit more. So, however you want to position yourself, it's your way of doing it. And just go into your heart, breathe, imagine a little light, a golden, shimmery dot of light in the center of your chest. In your next breath in, you're going to breathe into this light, and this light is going to oscillate bigger, a little bit bigger every breath in. And every breath out is going to shine a little bit brighter. The breath in and the breath out, it doesn't matter which way it goes in through your nose and mouth, wherever you feel comfortable. You can make it slow and long. You can make it deep and short. It's up to you. Eventually, your breath will take its own rhythm, will find its own rhythm. And focus on this light growing in your chest. Here, this technique is really just to practice feeling the energy center in your chest with visuals. Visuals are very helpful. Imagination is very helpful. And this bubble is becoming bigger than your chest with each breath, surrounding your body until you become engulfed in this golden light bubble. Sometimes going into your heart can trigger your energy system to release any anxiety, any dense energy that's in there because you're activating a big bright light. You're activating your light channel. And the job of the light channel is to diffuse, transmute, dissolve, release any dense energy that is present at that specific moment. So sometimes you can feel a little bit uneasy, uncomfortable in the chest, in the tummy, in the legs, in the shoulders, in the arms. And it's important to remember that because you're activating your heart chakra right now, your heart chakra knows exactly what to do. You don't need to question. And you allow yourself to feel this uncomfortable, knowing that you're safe, knowing that your heart is just releasing a dense energy off your body. And when I say a dense energy, it could be anxiety, survival mode, sadness, frustration, something that probably happened in the last few hours or few days and is trapped in there. And as you connect with your heart, you give the heart the opportunity to scan your body and transmute what can be transmuted right now in this now moment. So it's important to stay breathing, focus with your breath, feeling this uncomfortable. And it only takes a few minutes to feel until the uncomfortable becomes less and less intense. And then it gives you a feeling of openness, of relief, of lightness. So it's important to go through the whole cycle and process to get to the point of lightness. Because if we don't, we only just triggered it and we didn't treat it in a way. Okay. So your heart is doing a treatment for you right now. And it's important to know this because it's easy to feel this uncomfortable and interpret it as, oh, my anxiety is coming back. And then how do you treat your anxiety? Yeah, it's very different how your heart can treat your anxiety. But we need to sit brave here, feeling this feeling, knowing that no harm is going to come to you, nothing's going to get worse, and that your heart is just it's treating you. Your own light is healing you right now. This is self healing. Breathe into your heart, focus. Don't try to stop it, don't try to push away. Just allow yourself to feel. If you're yawning or tearing, it's all part of the process of releasing. If your nose is running, it's all part of the process of releasing. We are in a very high vibration. When we reach that point, dense energies have to sip out of your body. And these are the signs and symptoms to show you that the high vibration you're achieving with your heart is doing exactly that. Diffusing, transmuting dense energies in your body system, in your emotional system, in your mental system, and in your energy system. And you got to work with it. The heart knows what it needs to do, but you need to help the heart. You need to work with the heart. And this is co creation of self healing. And collectively, I can sense and feel these energies are quiet down, are minimizing, are softening. And I want you to continue to focus on your breath because you are safe. You know exactly what's happening now. And knowing is empowerment. When someone sits in meditation, doesn't know what's happening, they're going to panic. But this is exactly what's happening. You are healing. Whatever needs healing in this now moment. We are only here in stages. We don't heal all at once. We do, but it needs to be written in your soul contract. And in that space that felt a little bit uncomfortable, you're perhaps feeling an opening, a wider space. Okay? I want you to feel this space with light. Feel this space with light and love, a lot of love. Expand and feel the new space that you cleared with love. If you don't know what love feels like, don't worry. Just allow the portal that you're in right now and receive what's coming towards you. Allow this nice energy to fill the space. Beautiful. Keep breathing. Just keep breathing. And this is a guided meditation to use your heart chakra for self healing. But when you're on your own, just allow your thoughts to run through your mind however they need to. Write them down at the end in a journal and see how your perception and your awareness changes during the day. Um, how you start to get warning signs of where your emotions are going, or your thoughts are going, or your energy is going. And that's the beauty of meditation. Okay, so just sit quiet in silence and let anything happen. Just let anything happen. Don't question. And you can write it down later. And later you can try to understand. But while you're sitting in silence, just let it be. It's the best advice I can give you. And if you have been meditating for a while now and would like to understand more what's going on and how to evolve quicker and accelerate your healing process, join Wisdom Activator 369 program. You can cancel this one and join the other. And yeah, let's work through it. There's lots to work through. Okay, thank you so much for being here today.